Ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of respect for others, we request that all cell phones, pagers, and other electronics be switched to vibrate or turned off during the course of this meeting. Also, as set out in Board Operating Procedures Section 2E, inappropriate audience participation, when a member or members of the public are disruptive, they will receive a verbal warning from the presiding officer. When a member or members of the public continue with a second infraction, the presiding officer will ask security to escort the person or persons out of the room and/or off the premises, and he, she, or they may not return during the meeting. The August 13th board meeting is called to order at 6:01 p.m. We have a quorum with Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, Ms. Lewis, Mrs. Reyes, and myself, Patricia McLean. Trustee Dueñas will read the color guard script to prepare the audience for the presentation of colors by the Riverside High School Junior ROTC.
Good afternoon. Testing. Good afternoon and welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we request that all cell phones and pagers be switched to vibrate or turned off during the course of this meeting. Thank you. It has been a tradition to honor our nation at each of our board meetings by presenting colors, reciting Pledge of Allegiance, and the posting of the colors. The colors tonight are being presented by Junior ROTC color guard from Riverside High School. Yay. The color guard commander is Cadet Jose Gardea. The other color guard members are Cadet Patrick Soto, Cadet Christian Ochoa, Cadet Jose Medrano. The color guard is trained by Battalion Sergeant Major Cadet Zet Mendez. The pledge leader is Cadet Zet Mendez from Riverside High School. Will you please stand for the presentation of the colors, the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge, and a moment of silence. Please remain standing until the cadets have departed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now join me in the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Order! Order! Hold! Hold! Ready! Up! Hold! Read over. Read and order. 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 Hold the guard. Read for. Hold the guard. Hold. Over. Order.
Please sit down.
Ms. Reyes, Mrs. Reyes, do we have requests for citizen input?
Yes. Yes, Madam Chair, we do. The Board of Trustees appreciates your attendance and welcomes your ideas for the improvement of Ysleta. The Board respectfully reminds you that this is a board meeting, not a public meeting. The public is welcome, but order must be maintained throughout the meeting. Please refrain from applause, comments, or other attempts to interact with the board other than through this format, and please observe the following rules. You may speak on any issue during the portion of the meeting entitled Citizen Input. The board cannot enter into discussion on any item addressed during citizen input. In the interest of hearing all opinions, individuals wishing to speak are limited to 3 minutes. There is no policy or procedure providing for yielding time, and this practice will not be recognized by this board. Ysleta Y.I.S.D has specific board policy and procedures to allow for the handling of complaints, grievances, and other personnel-related matters. Consequently, personal criticism targeted specifically at individuals, whether by name or position, will not be permitted. The board maintains the right to cease citizen input from anyone who attempts to circumvent the proper complaint process. In order to provide time to hear from the public but still have time for posted agenda items, we ask that if you are part of a group asking to speak on a subject, you please select a spokesperson. In order to address the pros and cons of a subject, we will hear from only 2 citizens if there are too many signed up to address the same subject. This is at the discretion of the board. This procedure allows time for other citizens to address the board on other issues. Generally, 15 minutes will be given to a particular topic and 30 minutes for citizen input agenda item. And our first speaker is Maria Puentes.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Puentes, and I am both a parent and a teacher at Loma Terrace Elementary. Our community and school are dedicated in helping our students succeed academically and socially. Our students never complain about the cold in the winter, which creates frigid temperatures in our hallways and bathrooms, nor the stifling heat in the summer. For all the challenges our students face every day, they continue to strive for success. Our students they have earned through their perseverance a new HVAC system for their home away from home, which is Loma Terrace. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker will be Gary Woodruff.
Madam President, School Board Trustee, Dr. Del Torre, administration and staff, thank you for the opportunity to come before you and have my concerns on the action item for the HVAC replacement and other construction needed for Loma Terrace Elementary School. Concerns are not only mine, but from numerous constituents in this area, including parents, grandparents, other family, and especially the children. The children, because they will be affected most by your decision tonight. It is my understanding the President School Board already approved action item for Loma Terrace and now considering to renege on their promise. Reason given for tonight's action item is because bids exceeded original cost allowed for the Loma Terrace HVAC replacement and other constructions. First of all, my question is, why was the original proposal brought to the board $260,000, let's be exact, $263,044 short of the bid? As a former construction contractor, it's hard for me to believe that you would leave that much money on the table when you're doing appraisals to bring to the board. Seems to be a problem, an error with the district administration. Why should the students suffer for their mistakes? That's my question. Several months ago, a comment was made by a board member that money should not be spent to repair an old building. Again, voted unanimously, or originally, not unanimously, originally by the school board president. We're referring to a school housing at least 600 children. These children need a positive learning environment. Extremely hot rooms, cold rooms, and leaking roof are a negative environment and also unsafe. It has been indicated to me to move the children to another building. Perhaps if in 2004 bond money was spent wisely instead of $34 million for a school that cost $10 million more than America's high school, by the way. And I'm not saying any board members present was at that particular vote. Maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. It is my hope tonight that you remember that our children shouldn't suffer from our mistakes or from adults' mistakes or decisions made by administration. Please take what I said in account and remember these kids. I don't know what you're going to do with these kids, even if you're going to try to move them out of the building. They still need something for them to have a house, a decent school to learn under. And you can talk to any teacher at that school, any parent, any grandparent, and they'll tell you the same thing, that these kids have already suffered through cold weather and hot weather, and it's just not right. So remember, as you always say as a school board, it is for the children. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Arlinda Valencia.
Good evening, Dr. De La Torre and Board of Trustees. I'm Arlinda Valencia, President of the Ysleta Teachers Association. I'm speaking tonight in response to several false accusations that the board leadership made at the last special meeting. The Ysleta Teachers Association is an organization that represents Y.I.S.D. employees. The board made some harsh statements that basically said that they aren't here for the employees. They're here for the children. I'm afraid that you are mistaken, because you can't have one without the other. It's a team effort that makes this district work. It takes everyone associated with the schools to impact each student. Without bus drivers, the children wouldn't get to school. Without the cafeteria staff, the children wouldn't be fed. Without the janitors, the children wouldn't be able to work in a clean environment. Without security, the students would not be safe. Without the teachers, the children wouldn't learn. How can a Board of Trustees state that they don't care what anyone thinks, they will do what they want? If the employees of this district had the very same attitude, the children would be the ones to suffer. When did the employees of this district become the enemy? The board not only needs to work together, but they also need to work with the associations. We are not the enemy. The fact that another board member made the accusation that everything that has gone wrong on this board has been because of YTA's political agenda is a false statement. I wish I could control every one of your minds, because then every one of you would be working together. In Politics 101, you quickly learn that you win some and you lose some, and then you move on. To carry a grudge because you had an opponent is ludicrous. Get over it, you won, move on. Make sure that the voters make them know that they made the right choice, instead of having them realize they made a huge mistake. To say that our members' dues are spent on politics is another incorrect statement, because 4 of the members sitting there have taken money from YTA, and they know very well that we have a PAC, and our members' dues do not touch the politics. So please refrain from saying that. As for us trying to persuade you to do the right thing, I believe YTA isn't alone. Your constituents, the employees, the public, the media, they're all saying you need to work together. Until this leadership does the right thing, I'm afraid that things are going to stay the same. I leave you with this. United we stand, united we fall. The children of this district deserve so much more than divided we fall.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Lorena Mejorado.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. De La Torre, and members of the board. My name is Lorena Mejorado, and I am student body president at Eastwood High School. I'm sure you are aware that parking at Eastwood High School is very limited for the students and has caused many unsafe conditions. Because there are such few spaces, students are forced to find parking wherever they can, which creates all kinds of problems. I believe tonight's vote will help resolve some of these issues, and I thank you in advance for helping us and keeping Eastwood students' safety a priority. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Scott Derry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'm here again to talk about the Loma Terrace Elementary School havoc and roofing replacement. We need approval on all these items. These funds need to be seen not as an expense, but as an investment in our community that is currently seeing investment from the city itself. Our community has long been ignored and allowed to die out. We are not going anywhere. There are new young families moving into the neighborhood like myself and my family. Families who would like to ensure their children's first school is not a health hazard due to mold or probable heat exhaustion. We all know that all people, young, old, and all ages in between, perform better when in a comfortable environment. Comfort has long been proven to be conducive to better performance, learning, working, exercising. The impact on Bel Air learning community will be felt for years to come. Students who are comfortable and learn more will help improve ratings for the learning community as they progress in grade levels. The city is investing in the community by building a new community senior center and library combo at the Loma Land Park. Plans are being drawn up as we speak. Yes, there are circumstances not being discussed today which may play a role in the investment. However, not making this investment will be similar to a parent abandoning a child just because of the cost to raise that child. We would all be shocked to learn of a parent walking away from a child and leaving it to fend for itself, wouldn't we? Why then would you walk away from one of your children? Wasn't the board here elected to look out for each school and each learning community and to ensure that the students attending class in the best possible environment available? Thank you.
Thank you. Our final speaker will be Lisa Montelongo.
Good evening, Superintendent and Board of Trustees. But before I start, can I give this to Mrs. Ayala so she can give it to Mr. Haggerty? The little box. Superintendent, can I do that? Yes? Okay. The El Paso STEM Foundation celebrates a one-year anniversary today, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit. The El Paso STEM Foundation is connecting the dots to inspire the next generation of innovators and leaders. We are proud to be partnered with Ysleta Y.I.S.D. and the surrounding school districts, UTEP, Fort Bliss, the El Paso Community College, NMSU, and numerous business and the business community. With a shared sense of direction, the foundation and its partners are coordinating the efforts and resources to increase the support and participation of our students in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. In 1 year, we have impacted over 14,000 students, secured over $100,000 for robotic programs in our region, connected with 11 high schools, and in the Ysleta School District, we have partnered with Parkland, Hanks, Del Valle, Ysleta, and we look forward to working with Bel Air this year. We were recognized by Colonel Daly and was given the key from Fort Bliss for our work with the first innovative 5-star Innovation STEM Cup showcase. We were also honored by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey. There are many things that we got recognized this year and what we've done, but I know I don't have a lot of time. What I wanted to tell you is the board wanted to thank Mr. Haggerty for his passion for the students that he helped find this foundation. The board would like to thank him and present to him with that crystal. It's a pentagon with a star in it. Again, it was your passion, sir, that started the foundation, and we look forward to another year. So thank you.
Thank you, and that is all, Madam Chair.
There were no consent items pulled for discussion during the August 11th Agenda Review Workshop. Are there consent items you would like to discuss or any further discussion on the order of this agenda? May I please have a motion on the order of this agenda?
So move.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Yes, sir.
Before we have a second, the Loma Terrace roof replacement or HVAC upgrade, the one that was brought up by one of the public tonight, I'd like to discuss that.
Excuse me?
There was questioning about funding. I'd like to.
No, that's discussion, not part of our operating procedures.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and pull
You'd like to pull
one of the items that was brought up by the gentleman who brought up an item tonight.
It's an action item.
It wasn't consent
Not on the
item number
consent
8
item.
or 9. He was talking about Loma Terrace, right? What is action item? I apologize. I'm not used to having that many action items. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on the order of the agenda?
Madam President, the administration would recommend approval of the order of the agenda as presented.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on June 18th and workshop on June 16th, 2014. Is there discussion? I please have a motion on the minutes as presented?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Pearson.
I move to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on June 18th and workshop on June 16th, 2014.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, the administration would recommend approval of the minutes.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Dr. De La Torre, do you have a report for the board?
I do, Madam Chair. Members of the board, esteemed guests, welcome. State accountability ratings were released last week, and once again, all of our schools, our campuses have met the state's academic standards. In addition, 84% of our schools earned special distinction designations in math, reading English, language arts, science, social studies, student progress, closing the performance gap, and post-secondary readiness. Eastwood Middle School and Del Valle High School in particular received every special distinction possible for their school category. Congratulations. Congratulations to our instructional leaders, our teachers, our support staff, parents, and students that made it possible. The opening of a new school year is around the corner, and we are currently involved in our annual orientation session for new teachers, that began earlier this week and culminates with a new teacher banquet tomorrow night at 4:30 in the afternoon in the atrium here at the central office. The banquet is underwritten by our partners in education and serves to introduce and welcome our newest educators to the Ysleta team. It's an exciting time to be part of the Ysleta Independent School District. As you may or may not know, we will be celebrating our centennial anniversary. The Ysleta Independent School District has been the district of choice for 100 years. One of the reasons we're the district of choice is because we have a student-centered agenda. And so this Saturday, August 16th, where we will give away free backpacks filled with school supplies to 2,500 school-aged children who visit our main entrance, our main central office. Because we're an open enrollment district, this year we've added a new Discover Ysleta room where representatives from select campuses can provide information to parents or register children for the new school year. Also this year, we are not limiting the backpack giveaway to Ysleta students only. All El Paso school-aged children can participate in the rally regardless of the district that they currently attend. We are proud to partner with local businesses to organize the rally and help our families prepare for the upcoming school year. Next Wednesday, August 20th, I'm energized and excited. We will hold convocations for all instructional staff, 3 separate sessions at Ysleta High School, and they will feature performances by our high school pep bands, cheerleaders, and mascots. Convocations for central office staff, including central office personnel, will be held here Tuesday, August 19th in our central office theater. And finally, Monday, August 25th, the first day of school, we will welcome back students into classrooms for the start of the 2014-15 school year. And as I mentioned, it will be a banquet year. It is the 100th anniversary of our founding. Our district's beginnings can be traced back to 1915, when voters approved a $17,000 bond measure to pay for the construction of the original Ysleta Elementary School. Today, that will get you a Honda Accord. Maybe. We will commemorate our centennial throughout the year with very special events every month. More information on those events is forthcoming. In the meantime, we are eager to have all of our students back in the classroom, ready for another year of learning and achievement. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will now hold our public hearing on the proposed tax rate for 2014-15. Are there citizens signed up to speak? Okay. We have one person that signed up. Is there anybody else that would like to address the board on this item?
Well, before I address the board, you should do the presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Del Torre, members of the board. As we reviewed this Monday night, we'll go through the same, pretty much the same proposal. I did a couple extra charts to talk a little bit about the tax effort that we briefly discussed the other night. We have 2 purposes for the meeting tonight, and this is the last leg of our budget calendar for the year. The first will be to accept the official property tax roll from the Central Appraisal District. I have that in summary form if anybody's interested, and I also have a CD with all of the individual properties as well, but you're welcome to take a look at that anytime you'd like. And the second part of the adoption will be the actual tax rate on those properties for the year. The values that we got, I've summarized as follows. The total appraised value for the district properties, just under $9.4 billion. Our local homestead option that we give to residential homeowners reduces that by about $770 million. other exemptions, including the state mandated $15,000 exemption for each property and some disability exemptions, add up to another reduction of about $1.8 million. So the net taxable value in their terminology is about $6.8 billion. As every district does, we have a substantial number of properties that are frozen at the levy in the year in which the homeowner became 65 years old. And so they are billed the same amount each year, no matter, regardless of what we do to the tax rate, other than lowering it. If we happen to lower our tax rate to the point that it would actually lead to a lower tax bill, they can get the benefit of that, but otherwise their rate is frozen. We won't see that happen too often. It did happen in the 2-year reduction from $1.50 to $1 back in 7 and 8, but it won't happen in most years. That reduces our true taxable value at the full rate to just about $5.9 billion. And that compares a little unfavorably to last year's rate. We had ordinarily predicted that we would see about a 3% increase in values from year to year. We had preliminary indications that may not happen this year, and in fact, they came to fruition. We see a net reduction of about 1.3% from last year's values. This capsulizes our tax rates broken down between maintenance and operation and interest and sinking fund, which is what we use to pay our debt. And as you can see, we've had the rates for about 4 years in a row. Then we were obliged to raise the rate a year ago to 19 cents to cover the debt that was running through the last 2 years here. And that rate is what we are proposing for the coming year as well. The breakdown of how this is calculated is kind of as follows. We have a total debt obligation in terms of principal and interest of about $22.4 million. The state has something called existing debt allotment, which we are a benefactor of. And right now we're getting support in the amount of about 42 to 44%. Unfortunately, it's a little impacted by our homestead credit because they calculate their own effective tax rate. They don't take our word for it that we're billing 19 cents because they can see we're not generating a full 19 cents worth of revenue. So this is the calculation we'll talk about again in a minute. The payments required then after that is credited to us will be about $12.3 million. The frozen values that we showed on the previous chart are at their current billable amount, so they are just under $1 million. And as we discussed Monday night, it's an indication that basically 25% of our residential properties belong to people who are qualifying for that over 65 exemption. We are a mature district. That leaves us to cover with the full tax rate $11.3 million, and with the taxable values that we showed on the previous chart, that would calculate to a rate at about 19.25 cents. We're not proposing that because that would be adding a little insult to injury, I think. We had stuck to the 19 cents last year, and we would propose that, which is your decision, for this coming year. We know from looking at it historically that in the following year, were we not to have a bond add to our debt, we will see a reduction of our debt to something in the 16 million range next year. So that rate would drop precipitously next year. This is a history of the tax collections over the last 6-7 years. And as you can see, that resulting reduction in value has dropped our collections from about 89 million in total to about 88 million in total. The red portion is the debt that we're talking about. The blue portion is our M&O revenue, which is significantly increased by foundation support from TEA. This is a comparison of the total tax rates for the area districts, and we like to point out that while our rate is one of the larger, among the largest of the group, when you consider the 20% residential homestead property credit in there, the effective rate actually calculates to about $1.04. So it's a significant reduction in those properties. To give us some comparisons that we want to compare across the three districts, the three major districts, we took the amount of our average value property, $106,000, calculated the property tax the way it would be done. As you can see there, our bill is $950. The two other districts are about between $175 and $200 higher than that. Now, I'm not sure it's a fair comparison, but just to look at another way, we posted the three values that actually exist at the three districts. So while our property average is $106,000, Socorro's average is $126,000, and El Paso's almost $138,000. So that leads to a little bit different, or a little bit bigger difference between those three. But again, I think the fair appraisal is to look at the same value between the three districts. We touched on, but we didn't talk about a lot the other night, our EDA limit and the fact that the homestead credit affects that negatively. I wanted to make the point because this is a rebracketing year, 15, and the tax rate is weighed in 15 on their own effort calculation, and that is the limitation, the ratio that we will be held to in the next two subsequent years. So in 16 and 17, if we don't build 19 cents, we would lose EDA on the each of those years. Now in the current year, we're saying that each penny raises about $600,000 from our local taxpayers, and EDA contributes another $550,000. What would happen if we're not billing 19 cents? Every penny would cost us that $550,000 of support. And so it would fall to the taxpayers to pick up in that year. And since this is a bracketing year, it would fall in the next 2 years as well. We would lose that support and would lose it for the next 2 years because that limit will be set this year for the next 2 years. I just wanted to bring that up because it is an important year for us. And with that, there's the calendar, and we are at the last item of the budget calendar year. Any questions I can answer, or?
Any questions? Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
So is there any citizens that are wanting to speak on this issue at this time?
Hello, my name is Lisa Montalongo. Okay, my question is, well, I have a comment. In 2004, the team of 8 went out for a bond, and we got it passed because the community believed that we would get things done, and we did. I think we did a really good job when it came to some of the bond projects. We did fall short on some, but that's okay, because the administration has said that they'll come back and talk to the community about what we did right and what we did wrong. So in 2004, we did, as a community, we took on that burden of the bond, and we ended up paying, and we're paying for it now. So my comment to the board is this: tit for tat. Give us something back as the community, because we all know you're going to go out and ask us for more money. So before you go out and ask us for more money, give us the information that we need to know. How much more is it going to cost us? We know that we should be looking at a $250 million bond because the needs are there. That was what was assessed in 2004, 2003. We know that's what's needed today because we only did half the job. So I ask you to give something back to the community. Hold the line at 133 or 136, whatever it was, 133. So show some good faith. So when you do go back out to the community, we will say yes. But you adding more tonight and then going out to us maybe in 2 or 3 months and ask us for more, I can tell you the community will say no. Thank you.
The order of the agenda has been approved, but are there consent agenda items anyone wants to discuss? If not, may I have a motion on the consent agenda items listed on this agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Reyes.
I move to approve the consent agenda items as recommended by administration.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pearson. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. The Board of Trustees has determined that a closed meeting of the Board of Trustees is required to discuss the items set forth in the posted agenda for this date. Such closed meeting is authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.001, including but not limited to the sections and purposes covered by the following sections of the Texas Government Code: 551.071, 72, 73, 74, 76, 82, 821, 8.3, and 8.4. Should any final action, decision, or vote be required with regard to any matter considered in closed session, the final action, decision, or vote shall be in the open meeting or at a subsequent public meeting with notice. The board will now move to the Rio Grande room for closed session. EEOC charge styled Paul W. Harkness versus Ysleta I.S.D. EEOC charge number 453-2014-00514 as discussed in closed session. Is there discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 1?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mrs. Reyes.
I move to approve recommendations discussed in closed session regarding EEOC charge style Paul W. Harkness versus Ysleta I.S.D. EEOC charge number 453-2014-00514.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hagerty. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
We would recommend that the board approve recommendations regarding EEOC charge styled Paul Harkness versus the Ysleta Independent School District, EEOC charge number 453-2014-00514.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Action item number 2, consider and take possible action to appoint Ysleta ISD trustees to serve as the Texas Association of School Boards TASB delegate and an alternate to represent the district at the 2014 TASA TASB conference. Is there any discussion? And I will make the motion on action item number 2. I move to appoint Mr. Pearson to serve as the Texas Association of School Boards delegate and Mrs. Woodruff to serve as the alternate to represent the district at the 2014 TASA TASB conference. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Action item number 3. Consider and take possible action to approve an order accepting the tax roll as approved by the 2014 Appraisal Review Board and certified by the Chief Appraiser. Is there a discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 3?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Pearson.
I move to approve the order accepting the certified tax roll as approved by the 2014 Appraisal Review Board and certified by the Chief Appraiser.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
The administration would recommend the approval of the 2014-15 tax roll as approved by the 2014 Appraisal Review Board and certified by the Chief Appraiser.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Action item number 4. Consider and take possible action to approve an order setting the 2014-15 tax rate, including separate components for maintenance and operations of $1.17 and debt service of 19 cents for a total of $1.36 per 100 evaluation. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggard.
I think $1.36 is way too high. I think to pose the argument that everyone's taking advantage of this homestead exemption is ludicrous. There's so many renters on the residential side. On the business side, if we look at the district as a whole, all of the growth, the majority of the growth is in the Northeast. And if I got to pay $1.36 or I have to pay $1.23 for a business by moving on a different side of the street, I'm going to put my business on a different side of the street, so we're losing all that revenue that we're just not getting.
Is there any other discussion?
I wasn't finished, but that's fine.
No, go ahead.
There's still
Go ahead.
discussion.
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
You weren't finished.
It's too much. I can throw a rock and I can hit the El Paso side of the school district from Dolphin Terrace and from North Star. And again, if I'm a business, if I'm going to spend my tax dollars, I'm going to spend it on the El Paso side. So that's money that we're losing. That's money that the district's losing. And I cannot support that tax rate. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. May I please have a motion on action item number 4?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Pearson.
I move to approve the order setting the tax rate, including separate components for maintenance and operations for $1.17 and debt service of 19 cents for a total of $1.36 per $100 of valuation.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
The administration would request that the board adopt the 2014-15 tax rate, including separate components of maintenance and operations of $1.17 and debt service of 19 cents for a total of $1.36 per $100 of valuation.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Motion passes 4-3. The Board of Trustees has determined that a closed meeting of the Board of Trustees is required to discuss the items set forth in the posted agenda for this date, and that would be action item number 5. Such closed meeting is authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071 and 551.072, included, should any final decision, action, or vote be required with regard to any matter considered in closed session, the final action, decision, or vote shall be in the open meeting or at a subsequent public meeting with notice. The board will now move to the Rio Grande room for closed session.
we're waiting for Ms. Wood.
I reconvene this meeting with the following present: Ms. Dueñas, Mr. Haggerty, Mr. Pearson, Mrs. Woodruff, Ms. Lewis, Mrs. Reyes, and myself, Patricia McLean. Action item number 5. Consider and take possible action to approve Y.I.S.D. contract number 20150-160 with Mount Hope Lutheran Church to provide use of their parking lot by Eastwood High School students during the period of August the 15th, 2014 to February the 28th, 2015, in an amount not to exceed $15,000 from district local funds contingent upon final negotiations, legal counsel review, and approval of the contract. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 5?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Lewis.
I move to authorize the superintendent to sign Y.I.S.D. contract number 2015-0160 with Mount Hope Lutheran Church to provide the use of 42 parking spaces for the Eastwood High School students during the period of August 15th, 2014 to February 28th, 2015, with the option through May 28th, 2015, in the amount not to exceed $945 per month from district local funds contingent upon final negotiations, legal counsel review, and approval of the contract.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Dr. De La Torre, does the administration have a recommendation on this item?
Yes, Madam President. Yes, Madam President. The administration recommends approval of Y.I.S.D. contract 20150-160.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Action item number 6. Consider and take possible action to approve use of additional 2004 bond funds for Loma Terrace Elementary School HVAC replacement design and subsequent construction for an additional amount not to exceed $263,044 over the original approved budget for this project of $750,000, bringing the new budget amount to a not to exceed amount of $1,013,044. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Yes, Ms. Woodruff?
I have a question. First of all, I don't exactly understand why we have to have the 4 different action items for the 2 things that are happening. Can somebody explain that?
I know it feels redundant, but before the board can take action on moving forward with the project, the board also has to take action on increasing the budget. So we have to demonstrate that the money is available before we can consider the project.
Okay.
So it's kind of a 2-step process, and since there are 2 different projects, one being the roofing, the other being the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, it makes it appear as though it's redundant, but it's required.
Okay, thank you. And then I'd just like to say that we started this process back in November of last year, and so we've been promising basically Loma Terrace since November that we were going to do this for them, and to come back now and to not approve what we've already said we were going to do is not really, well, to me, a very nice thing to do, but not really a good thing to do. So I just feel like we need to make sure that we do what we said we're going to do and give these kids the kind of learning environment that they deserve. We've heard people say that they don't have heating, when it's cold, and they don't have air conditioning when it's hot. And so that's just not the way that we want our kids to have to do. And this is about the kids. So I would like to see us go ahead and fulfill our promise to them. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Mr. Haggard?
Will these 4 agenda items take care of all that?
Yes, they'll increase the budget to the not to exceed number, and then that will require that the board then give us permission to work with the contractors, and for all intents and purpose, that is a notice to proceed. Am I correct, Mr. Boer?
Yes, sir.
And then where would we be drawing that money from?
From the 2004 bond
And there's enough in it?
funds? Yes.
Ms. Dueñas?
Yes. Will the 819 and 682 cover the whole thing for the Loma Terrace, or will we be coming back again for more money on this? Will that be the contract's final decision? I'd hate to bring it back for the 3rd time, since this is the 2nd time and it had already been approved before. For the record, I hope this will be the last time the students really need this repairs on this school, and I'd hate to bring it back again on the ballot, on the agenda.
Right now, we're on action item number 6, Ms. Dueñas.
But it takes care of the 4. That's what Mr. Hegarty just said right now, that it's taking care of the 4.
Regard to action item number 6.
But that's what he just said right now, that apparently it's covering the 4 items, which is 6, 7, and 8, and 9. And that's what his question. That's why I was bringing up all this, so we won't have to be going back and forth.
I was asking what your question was.
My question was the 800 for the record, 819,000 and 682 for the labor and the construction.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. The funds should be sufficient to cover both the roofing project as well as the HVAC project.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 6?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Woodruff.
I move to approve use of additional 2004 bond funds for Loma Terrace Elementary HVAC replacement design and subsequent construction for an additional amount not to exceed $263,044 over the original approved budget for this project of $75,000, bringing the new budget amount to $750,000, bringing the new budget amount to not to exceed amount of $13,044.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Dr. De La Torre, does the administration have a recommendation?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend the use of 2004 bond funds for Loma Terrace Elementary HVAC replacement design and subsequent construction for an additional amount not to exceed $263,044 over the original approved budget for this project of $750,000, bringing the new budget amount to a not to exceed amount of $1,013,044.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Action item number 7. Consider and take possible action to approve use of additional 2004 bond funds for Loma Terrace Elementary School roof replacement and subsequent construction for an amount not to exceed $67,945 over the original approved budget for this project of $846,000, bringing the new budget amount not to exceed amount to $913,945. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 7?
Madam President,
Ms. Woodruff.
I move to approve use of additional 2004 bond funds for Loma Terrace Elementary roof replacement and subsequent construction for an amount not to exceed $67,945 over the original approved budget for this project of $846,000, bringing the new budget amount to a not to exceed amount of $913,945.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Dueñas, Dr. De La Torre, does the administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend the use of additional 2004 bond funds in an amount of $67,945 over the original approved budget for this project of $846,000, bringing the new budget amount to a not to exceed amount of $913,945.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Action item number 8, consider and take possible action to approve award of Y.I.S.D solicitation number 24-516-094 CSP bond Loma Terrace Elementary School HVAC upgrade for $900,042 from Capital Projects Fund, Series 2006 funds. Is there discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 8?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Woodruff.
I move to approve award of Y.I.S.D solicitation number 24-516-094 CSP-bond to Sunlight Enterprises Company, Inc. for Loma Terrace Elementary HVAC upgrade for $900,042 from Capital Projects Fund, Series 2006 funds.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Dr. De La Torre, does the administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend the award of the Y.I.S.D solicitation number 24-516-094 CSP bond Loma Terrace Elementary School HVAC upgrade for $900,042 from Capital Projects Fund, Series 2006 funds.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Action item number 9, consider and take possible action to approve award of Y.I.S.D solicitation number 24-530-095 CSP bond Loma Terrace roof replacement for $819,682 from Capital Project Funds, Series 2006 funds. Is there discussion? May I please have a motion on action item number 9?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Woodruff.
I move to approve award of Y.I.S.D solicitation number 24-530-095 CSP-bond to Four Star Roofing Company, Inc. for Loma Terrace roof replacement for $819,682 from Capital Projects Fund Series 2006 funds.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Dueñas. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, the administration would recommend award of Y.I.S.D solicitation number 245300-095 CSP Bond Loma Terrace roof replacement for $819,682 from Capital Projects Fund Series 2006
Thank you.
funds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Action item number 10. Consider and take possible action to approve an increase in the part-time employee hourly rate from minimum wage of $7.25. Is there discussion?
Madam President, if I may, I'd like to recommend that we postpone this item. We've had considerable discussion in terms of the unique circumstances surrounding part-time employees and their salary schedule. And we've recently discussed considering longevity steps, and I'd like to give Mr. Molinowski and his team some time to look into that to see whether or not that may be a more prudent way to meet our interests.
Trustees Woodruff and Dueñas? Are you
Yes.
okay with
Yes.
that? Yes? Okay. Then we will postpone that. Policies. Policy item number 1-A, consider and take possible action to adopt on first reading Ysleta specific revisions to FEC local attendance for credit. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on policy item number 1-A?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Reyes.
move to adopt on first reading Ysleta specific revisions to FEC local attendance for credit.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Oh, wait, hold on just a minute. Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
Madam President, members of the board, the administration would recommend action as described.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Policy item number 1-B, consider and take possible action to adopt on first reading Ysleta specific revisions to GKD local community relations non-school use of school facilities. Is there any discussion? May I please have a motion on policy item number 1-B?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Pearson.
I move to adopt on first reading Ysleta specific revisions to GKD local community relations non-school use of school facilities.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reyes. Dr. De La Torre, does administration have a recommendation on this item?
The administration would ask that you adopt on first reading these specific revisions to GKD local community relations non-school use of school facilities.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Provided for us for information under regulations exhibits is FEC-R attendance for credit. Any other discussion or comments?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Haggard.
are we at the announcement part, or is that just for the regulation?
Under announcements, any other discussion or comments with regard to announcements?
Under announcements, I have something. I was recently appointed to the TASB Board's Board of Directors, which is composed of 11 board members statewide. It was an honor to be appointed. I look forward for the opportunity to serve, and I took part in my first board meeting this morning.
Congratulations.
Any other discussion or comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
What was going on with that mallet?
Said he was falling asleep and that I should hit him in the head.